Hey there everybody, my name is Forrest Sakelum and this is my presentation on culture and emergency management. So, to start we have to define culture, and to define culture we're going to be using the manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarding collectively and a state or form of civilization for definitions for the purposes of this project. So first up, we've got informed cultures versus uninformed cultures. Informed cultures are the ones that we're more familiar with. They're the ones that are more aware of their surroundings, and they're much more likely to be prepared for upcoming disasters versus an uninformed culture, which may not be aware of what's coming for them and are probably not going to be equipped for any disasters that come their way, especially when it comes to major disasters. And to expand on those points, just to give a few examples, Florida is an example of an informed culture on hurricanes. California is an example of an informed culture on earthquakes. But these two cultures could easily be uninformed cultures should a disaster that does not normally strike them comes their way. As an example, Florida would not be an informed culture on how to handle an earthquake and does not have the infrastructure to deal with a major earthquake, similarly to how New Jersey and New York were unprepared to deal with Hurricane Sandy, and it ended up being a major disaster, destroying a large portion of those areas. Reactions to disasters can also depend upon culture. For example, in Louisiana, looting was rampant after Hurricane Katrina, with many store owners having to take it upon themselves to protect their stores and keep themselves from losing a massive amount of their inventory on top of what they'd already lost. However, comparing this to Japan after their 2011 tsunami, there was an infrastructure in place not only with the greater culture of honesty, but also with the local crime organizations that were able to run the area, as well as the police infrastructures being up faster than they were in Louisiana. This area was able to be almost absent of looting and completely avoid that situation, versus what we saw in Louisiana here in the States, specifically in New Orleans. But perhaps the most important part of culture and emergency management is to create a culture of preparedness. Craig Fugate, who was the director of FEMA from 2009 to 2017, emphasized this during his time in charge of FEMA, because creating a culture of preparedness creates more awareness amongst families, creates avenues for them to avoid disasters, and creates opportunities for better responses in the government, because the more people that are prepared for a disaster and are able to either thwart it with their preparedness, escape through evacuations, or other avenues of avoiding disaster, it allows for less of a burden upon the system and creates better responses from the government, the less people they need to help and assist and respond to. So that's everything I've got, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video and hopefully leave a comment on it, or just discuss what I had to say, add anything to it. But again, thank you so much. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.